Hello.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm fine.
Good. My name is Leanne Thompson. Feel, please feel free to call me Lee. I see that your name is Sarah. Is there any other name that you would like for me to call you?
You can call me Sarah.
Okay. Well, hi, Sarah. In this session, I will ask you a couple of questions. The interview is going to take about 45 minutes. I just want to let you know that all information exposed in this session is completely confidential. Everything you say will be only between you and myself. So, tell me what brings you in to see me today.
Okay, well, I'm kind of embarrassed, but I feel like I need to do something about it.
Okay. What seems to be the situation that you're too embarrassed to talk about?
Well, it involves my parents, but mainly my dad. My parents have not been talking to each other, and they seem to have been ignoring one another for a few months now. I feel like my dad has a thing for one of my teachers because he is overly friendly to her and touches her in a way that makes me feel uncomfortable and embarrassed. I know what he's doing is not right because I have not ever seen him act like that with any other teachers or any woman for that matter. Before he and my mother started ignoring each other, I know my mother would not like what he is doing, and I do not like what he is doing. I feel like I want to say something sometimes, and other times I do not want to say anything. I love my parents, but then I feel also bad for my mom because of what my dad is doing behind her back, and I do not want it to get worse.
So, Sarah, your problem is your father's inappropriate behaviors towards your teacher. Is that correct?
Yes, but what do I do about it as well? Some days I want to tell my mother because I know it's not fair to her, but the other days I feel like it'll cause more problems between them because I told on my dad.
So, your dilemma is what to do about your father's behavior?
Exactly.
Okay. So, tell me, what have you done in the past to solve this problem?
Nothing like this has ever happened in the past. It's the first time it's happened and I don't know what to do.
So, Sarah, this hasn't happened in the past, so you're not sure how to react to your father's behavior. Is that right?
Yes, what do I do?
Sarah, I'm going to ask you a peculiar question. Let's say you were to go to sleep tonight, and when you wake up tomorrow, the problem you came in to see me for was gone. You wouldn't know what that problem was because it never did exist. But when you wake up, what would be the first thing you would notice different?
I don't know if my parents would go back to being the same.
How would your parents act, Sarah?
They used to be loving towards one another and they haven't even touched in months.
So your parents would be as affectionate towards one another like they used to be or like they were in the past. Is that correct?
Yes, and I walk around the house acting like they're strangers to each other and barely speaking to each other and making it awkward.
So your parents would interact like they did in the past and not act like strangers to one another. What would you notice about yourself?
I would feel comfortable and not so awkward like I do now.
So you would feel more comfortable and not awkward about your father's behaviors towards your teacher.
Yes, and also at home.
Okay, Sarah, what changes would your parents notice about you?
Hmm, maybe my dad would notice that I no longer give him dirty looks or I'm short with him when he tries to talk to me.
Okay, so your dad would notice a more positive attitude towards him. Is that correct?
Yes.
What about your mom? What changes would she notice about you?
Maybe that I'm happier and not so angry or sad.
Okay, so your mom would notice that you're happier. I see you're having difficulties adapting to the changes your parents are going through. I wonder what you suppose needs to happen so you no longer feel uncomfortable with your father's behavior.
I don't know. Maybe talk to him about it. Let him know it makes me feel very uncomfortable.
Wow, Sarah, you seem to care about your parents very much.
I do. I just want my dad to stop flirting with my teacher. It's not fair to my mom.
Of course you do. So if you were to tell your dad how you feel about his interactions with your teacher, what do you think he would do or say?
I don't know. I know he loves me, so I'm sure he wouldn't be angry at me for telling him how I feel. And it makes me very uncomfortable.
Okay. Good. So you would tell him your feelings about his interaction with your teacher, and he would be understanding, more understanding. Is that right?
Yes, you would probably feel bad since it makes me feel uncomfortable and it's embarrassing.
Do you think if maybe you expressed your thoughts, he would take, he wouldn't be offended by it?
Maybe, yes.
Okay. So if you tell your father about your feelings toward his interactions with your teacher, something could happen.
I think
That's great, Sarah. I'm glad you feel comfortable enough to tell your dad how his behavior with your teacher is affecting you and it's making you feel uncomfortable. You're going to feel better once you tell him and get this off your chest. So, on a scale from 0 to 10, 0 being the worst and 10 being the best, how do you feel about the situation now that you're aware of what needs to happen to resolve the situation?
I would say 7. I feel a lot better because now I know what I need to do. Thank you.
No, thank you for coming. My pleasure. I would like to set up a follow up appointment for next week, maybe the same day and time. Is that okay with you?
Yes, that's okay.
Okay.
Thank you.